What's up, everyone? Today I'm actually waterproofing my gear. I do it every year, and I thought might be a good idea to make a video on what I use, how I go about it, how long it lasts. So that's what this video is going to be about. What are you doing, Sarah?
I'm just making a hat.
Can we see it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So for those of you who have newer gear, Gore-Tex, things with a really good waterproof breathable layer, this might not be for you. But for those like myself who have maybe older gear that maybe is worn down, doesn't have the Gore-Tex layer, anything like that, this is perfect. This one's for you. So I'm going to show you what I use. It's actually right here. It's called Atsko. Many of you probably know it. I buy mine on Amazon. Check the link in the description below. It comes in a 3-pack, and it's more than enough. It just needs one layer. It's a silicone fiber, so it's still breathable. You can use it on anything. I actually spray my boots as well. But I'm just going to take you through. It's definitely cooler here in Oregon, Central Oregon. I think it's in the 40s today, so it's not ideal, but it's dry. So you want dry conditions. You want, I'm not sure exactly how cool you want it to be, or warm, but probably be ideal if it was between that, 50s and 70s. Anything warmer is not good. Anything cooler is probably not ideal. And then you want your gear to be clean. You want your gear to be dry. So give it 48 hours to settle and dry. And this is usually good for 1 or 2 seasons, honestly. I say waterproof with an asterisk because it's not exactly waterproof. It's more water resistant than anything. Here in the Cascades, can get wet, pretty harsh with wind. So we just have to make sure that we are protected because if it gets cold and that wind is blowing, it's no bueno. Would you agree, Sarah?
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm going to walk you through it. Here we go. Okay, so I have a couple of tools, the things that I use while I'm doing this. Firstly, and most importantly, I have an N95. These silicone particles can be pretty small. I don't want to breathe that in. Next thing I also have are gloves. It can be any gloves, but essentially silicone is really hard to get off your hands, so you want to make sure that that's covered. And then lastly, I have kind of work pants on, and just because, again, I don't want to get my clothes all messy. So I'm gonna go down to a spot, usually I have dirt or something along those lines, and I'll show you what I'm working with here. But essentially it's just a chair, and then I have a piece of plastic wrap because this stuff it will stain the ground. So yeah, let me just set up here. Okay, so I figured it would be easier just to voice over this process. So essentially I'm shaking the can as you would expect. The can in the back, I think it says shake 2 to 3 times or something like that every 20 to 30 seconds of spraying. As you can see, I had the coat kind of draped over that plastic and chair just to give me a nice clean surface. I use 2 gloves for this one just because this stuff gets everywhere, it leaks. Again, one more shake just because I can. Wanted to read over just to look over the instructions. I had the coat facing the sun, and then I give it a couple of sprays to clear the nozzle. And then I'm just going in kind of short sweeping motions. Again, I like to douse my gear, probably overkill, but I just want to make sure that that silicone is deep in those fibers, and it makes this water resistant. So it's nice, it's shiny. I try to flatten it out as much as I can as I'm spraying over it, just because I want to get over the creases, things like that. So just trying to get the most important places, probably around that skirt, the base, especially when I sit down in the snow, if I fall, whatnot. So it will leak, it will drip down that coat, and that's okay. It will eventually soak in. Again, one of the keys here is to get the creases underneath the arms, etc., etc. So I'm just making sure that I do that. I will continue this, and then I will kind of flip it over when it's done and ready. I'm just getting the hood here. But overall, pretty straightforward, pretty easy, and shouldn't take too long.
Hey, yo, welcome. Hello.
all done for those two pieces, three pieces, I guess. As you can tell, I was pretty thorough with this. I shake it it says shake it every 2 to 3 times, every 20 to 30 seconds, and then keeping it about 8 to 10 inches away. I like to douse my garments. It's probably too much, and it definitely drips a little bit, but I just want to make sure that it's extra water resistant, just because, like I was saying, it gets pretty harsh here in the Cascades. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful, and yeah, I'll see you next time.